Hi guys, so it's the end of the year and it's our last find of the month video. This one we've got 3 for the price of 1 because I found these items at the beginning of the month and they're all equally as lovely and special as each other. I'll start with this gorgeous gunmetal bronze ship's telegraph that would have been on a warship of the US Navy. I know that because it's made by Henschel of Massachusetts. And as you might have seen in videos before, I like to highlight the fact the Americans, how beautifully they make their ships fittings and how they use gunmetal bronze rather than brass as we do in UK and Europe. It has that higher copper content, so it has that golden look about it. It's fresh out of our polishing shop, so it's looking absolutely fabulous. It's a historical piece and it's sculptural. You know, that's how well they used to make things. For those of you that don't know, a ship's telegraph would have been fixed on the wheelhouse and would indicate orders. This one's got 2 faces, 2 handles, 2 engines to operate, and this one's now finished with engines. I date it to around about the 50s, 60s. I know that because it's got an electric bell rather than the traditional mechanical bells of the pre-war telegraphs. But it's done, you know, your chance to purchase a piece of history that is as beautiful looking as it is historical. I fancy taking that home, to be honest, but I can't. I've already got one. And Trinity House bells, an icon of the sea, an iconic collectible piece of Trinity House memorabilia. And we've got 2 examples here. Very rare, these bells, mainly because at about 180 kilos, when they're decommissioned, they get thrown in the scrap. We've got a beautiful example, rare example of a Gillett Johnston. Gillett Johnston took over. They were the people that, it was Cyril Johnston who developed the true harmonic tone of a bell, actually. And after the war, to end all wars, Cyril Johnston famously talked the Trinity House into having an experiment where they moored 2 bells a mile apart, and they rode a tender away from the bells and kept ringing the bells until you could only hear one. And it was Cyril Johnston whose true harmonic bell took over from Taylor's of Loughborough. Taylor's of Loughborough up until that point had the sort of monopoly on it. You can see here, Jace, if you zoom in there, you can see how they were rung. So rather than having an internal clanger, they were fixed where there were hammers that were suspended outside of the bell and would smack the bells every time they rocked, which is why they have this ingenious sort of cradle design here where they were easy to spin. And when the buoys and the lanterns were getting serviced, they'd spin the bell a few degrees and it wouldn't wear out the bells. Let me ring one for you. That's the sound of the sea. And a churchyard, admittedly, but sailors. I love that sound. That's the sound of the deep sea. And so all 3 items should be on the website for the Christmas period. In fact, if you don't subscribe, I do harp on about this. It's so important because people react very quickly to our newsletters and our push notifications. If you want to know when these items or any of our items hit the website, then do subscribe to our newsletter and our push notifications because I don't want you to miss out. Anyway, that's it for now. Roll on January and the next find of the month.